First Contact and Deception. The holographic display in the Orbital Defense Command Center cast an eerie blue glow across Director Sarah Chin's face as she studied the incoming data. Something was wrong with the numbers. The quantum sensors had detected a massive gravitational anomaly at the edge of the Kuiper belt, far larger than anything natural should produce. "Dr. Patel, are you seeing this?" She called out to her chief physicist, who was already furiously working at his station. "Yes, Director. The gravitational distortions are consistent with nothing we've ever seen before. But if I had to guess, we're looking at the aftermath of multiple faster-than-light transitions." The room fell silent. Humanity had theorized about FTL travel for centuries, but we'd never achieved it. If someone else had. "Contact." Lieutenant Rivera's voice cut through the silence. Multiple objects emerging from the anomaly. "Count is, Jesus Christ." "Give me a number, Lieutenant," Chen ordered, keeping her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her system. "Over 2,000 objects, Director. Smallest ones are about the size of an aircraft carrier. Largest are—" He swallowed hard. "Largest are approaching lunar mass." Chen activated the emergency protocols with a single command. Within seconds, military bases worldwide went to high alert, and quantum-encrypted messages reached every major government simultaneously. 20 years ago, when the United Earth Defense Force was established, many had called it a waste of resources. Now it seemed prescient. The mysterious fleet maintained perfect formation as it crossed the solar system's outer boundary. Their ships moved with impossible precision, as if they were all parts of a single organism. Initial scans showed technology far beyond anything humanity possessed, or so they thought. "Director," Dr. Patel called out. "They're broadcasting. All frequencies, all languages, simultaneously." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a humanoid figure with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. When it spoke, its words were somehow perfectly understood by everyone present, regardless of their native language. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Gentle of the Galactic Concordat. We come in peace and friendship, seeking to welcome humanity into our ancient and noble civilization." Chen studied the alien's expression. After years of analyzing human micro-expressions, she developed an almost supernatural ability to detect deception. Even on this alien face, something felt wrong. "Ambassador," she responded, "Earth welcomes peaceful contact. However, you'll understand our concern at the arrival of such a large military force." The alien's expression shifted slightly. Was that amusement? "Merely a standard diplomatic escort, Director Chen. The galaxy can be dangerous for developing civilizations such as yours. We offer protection and guidance." Over the next several hours, the ambassador's offers became more specific. Advanced technology, medical breakthroughs, unlimited clean energy, all in exchange for Earth accepting the Concordat's guidance and protection. But Chen noticed what wasn't being said. No mention of other protected species, no specific details about the Concordat's governing structure, and most troublingly, their ships were taking up strategic positions throughout the solar system under the guise of routine patrol patterns. In her private office, Chen consulted with Admiral James Wong, commander of Earth's modest space fleet. "They're lying," she said simply. Wong nodded. "Agreed. But why go through this elaborate deception? Their technology is clearly superior. If they wanted to conquer us—" "Unless," Dr. Patel interrupted, having just entered with a data tablet, "they're not as superior as they want us to believe. I've been analyzing their ship movements. They're carefully avoiding certain areas of space, areas where we've been conducting quantum consciousness experiments." Chen's eyes widened as the implications sank in. "The Prometheus Project. But that's still theoretical." "Theoretical to us," Wong said slowly. "But maybe we've stumbled onto something they understand all too well, and fear." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. Lieutenant Rivera's voice came through the speakers. "Director, The Concordat fleet is powering up weapons. They're dropping their peaceful pretense. Chen smiled grimly. Looks like we struck a nerve. Admiral, implement Corona Protocol. Dr. Patel, activate the Prometheus network. And someone get me the Secretary General. It's time humanity showed our visitors why you should never underestimate a species that turned nuclear physics into an energy source instead of just a weapon. The Concordat was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our technology. It was our ability to see through deception, adapt to threats, and turn our theoretical understanding of the universe into practical solutions that even our superior visitors hadn't imagined. As Chen watched the massive alien fleet maneuver into attack positions, she felt an odd sense of calm. They thought they were dealing with a primitive species that would be easily fooled and subjugated. Instead, they were about to learn why humanity had survived every challenge our harsh world had thrown at us for hundreds of thousands of years. The real question wasn't whether humanity would survive this encounter. It was whether the Galactic Concordat was prepared for what they'd unleashed by trying to deceive us, the hidden strength. The Concordat's first strike came not with weapons, but with waves of invisible energy that rippled through space toward Earth. In the command center's neural monitoring station, Dr. Maya Patel watched as billions of human brainwave patterns remained stubbornly unchanged. Fascinating, she muttered. They're attempting a mass consciousness override. Director Chen moved to stand behind her, like the one their advanced scouts tried during first contact. Much stronger, Maya confirmed, but they don't understand. Human consciousness doesn't work like other species they've encountered. Our quantum neural patterns are different. On the main display, the massive Concordat vessels hung in space like artificial stars, their hulls absorbing sunlight in ways that defied physics. Ambassador Gentle's face appeared again, but the peaceful facade had vanished. His galaxy-filled eyes now burned with barely contained fury. Your resistance is unprecedented, he admitted, but ultimately futile. No species has ever withstood the Concordat's neural pacification field. Admiral Wong stepped forward, his weathered face showing no fear. Perhaps you should have studied us more carefully before attempting invasion. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our minds. The Admiral nodded to Maya, who activated the Prometheus network. Across Earth, thousands of quantum consciousness amplifiers hummed to life. These devices, originally designed to study human consciousness, now served a different purpose. Impossible. Gentle's image flickered as feedback from the network reached their ships. Your species shouldn't be capable of quantum consciousness manipulation. Yet here we are, Chen replied calmly. You see, Ambassador, while you were busy trying to deceive us, we were studying you. Your ships don't just use quantum mechanics for propulsion. They're quantum consciousness controlled. Your entire empire is built on the ability to dominate the minds of other species. The alien's composure cracked further. How? How did you know? Because, Maya explained, unable to hide her satisfaction, we discovered the same principles decades ago. But instead of using them to control others, we used them to understand ourselves, to strengthen our natural resistance to external influence. Every human child now grows up with quantum-reinforced neural pathways. The Concordat fleet's perfect formation began to waver. Their ships moved erratically, as if their crews were struggling to maintain control. Admiral Wong watched with grim satisfaction as the tactical display showed the enemy's coordinated attack patterns dissolving into chaos. Your neural technology requires absolute precision, Chen continued. But human consciousness is inherently chaotic, creative, adaptive. By trying to impose your control over our solar system, you've exposed yourself to billions of unpredictable human minds, all interconnected through the Prometheus network. Gentle's image distorted, his perfect translation failing. This is why we couldn't properly scan your world. Your consciousness technology masks your true capabilities. No, Maya corrected him. Our consciousness is our true capability. Everything else, our technology, Our defenses, our societies, flows from that. We don't need to dominate minds because we've learned to understand them. Across the solar system, Concordat ships began powering down their neural control systems to avoid the cascading feedback from Earth. But this had an unexpected effect. Without their consciousness-based controls, much of their advanced technology simply stopped working. Final warning, Chen announced. Withdraw your fleet, or we'll be forced to demonstrate exactly what happens when billions of human minds focus their quantum consciousness against your ship's control systems. The command center fell silent as they waited for the response. The Concordat faced a choice they'd never encountered in their thousands of years of conquest: retreat or face a species that had turned their greatest weapon into their greatest vulnerability. Admiral Wong turned to Chen. They won't retreat. Their entire empire is built on the assumption of their psychological superiority. Admitting defeat to a primitive species would shatter that foundation. Agreed. Chen nodded. Dr. Patel, begin Phase 2. If they want to learn about human consciousness a hard way, we'll give them a lesson they'll never forget. Maya's fingers flew across her console, activating the full power of the Prometheus network. As the quantum consciousness wave built up around Earth, she couldn't help but smile. The Concordat had come expecting to find simple minds to dominate. Instead, they'd found something unprecedented, a species that had mastered its own consciousness not for control, but for understanding. The real battle was about to begin, and humanity's greatest weapon wasn't our technology or our ships. It was the unique way our minds worked together. Billions of individual consciousnesses forming patterns too complex for any external force to dominate or predict. As the Prometheus network reached full power, Chen watched the enemy fleet's formation continue to deteriorate. You know what humanity's real hidden strength is? She asked no one in particular. We don't just resist control. We thrive on chaos. And we're about to show the Concordat exactly what that means. Counterattack. The Concordat fleet's response to humanity's resistance came in the form of raw firepower. Energy beams lanced across space, only to be scattered by Earth's quantum diffusion shields, another technology that had emerged from humanity's unique understanding of consciousness and its relationship to physical reality. They're adapting, Admiral Wong noted, watching as the alien ships shifted formation, moving to conventional warfare now that their neural weapons have failed. Director Chen studied the tactical display where red dots representing Concordat vessels spread out in a complex three-dimensional pattern. Not just adapting. They're preparing for something big. Dr. Patel. Maya's hands danced across her quantum interface. Their ship configurations are changing. They're trying to form a massive neural network of their own, turning their entire fleet into one giant consciousness projector. They still don't understand, Chen muttered. Lieutenant Rivera, initiate Operation Kaleidoscope. Across Earth's orbital space, hundreds of seemingly dormant satellites suddenly activated. These weren't weapons in the conventional sense. They were consciousness resonators, designed to amplify and reflect the natural quantum patterns of human thought. Admiral Wong opened a channel to all Earth Defense Forces. All personnel, initiate Chaos Protocol. The effect was immediate and unprecedented. Instead of trying to coordinate their thoughts, Earth's defenders deliberately let their minds wander, creating patterns of consciousness as unpredictable as quantum fluctuations themselves. The Prometheus network picked up these chaotic thought patterns and amplified them through the orbital resonators. On the main screen, Ambassador Gentle's image appeared again, but now multiple versions of him spoke simultaneously, his perfect translation breaking down under the strain. What are you doing? This pattern, it's impossible to predict. That's the point, Maya explained, unable to hide her excitement. Human consciousness naturally exists in a state of quantum superposition. We don't think in straight lines or perfect patterns. Every human mind is a universe of possibilities. The Concordat's massive neural network, designed to impose order and control, began to falter as it encountered billions of human minds, all thinking in different directions simultaneously. Their ship's quantum consciousness controls started receiving contradictory signals, unable to process the chaos of human thought. Their fatal mistake, Chen observed, was assuming that consciousness had to be controlled to be powerful. They never considered that chaos itself could be a weapon. Across the solar system, Concordat ships began losing coherence. Their perfect formations dissolved into disorder as their consciousness-based technology struggled to cope with the quantum chaos emanating from Earth. Some ships simply shut down, their crews unable to maintain mental control in the face of humanity's psychic storm. Director Rivera called out, "We're detecting massive energy buildups in their command ships. They're trying to overpower our chaos with raw energy." Chen nodded grimly. "Just as we expected. Dr. Patel, initiate the Mobius protocol." Maya's fingers flew across her console, implementing the most audacious aspect of humanity's defense plan. The Prometheus network didn't just connect human minds. It could also create recursive loops of consciousness, feeding the Concordat's own neural energy back upon itself. The effect was spectacular. As the alien fleet attempted to blast Earth with pure psychic energy, the Mobius protocol caught that energy and twisted it through dimensions of consciousness the Concordat had never explored. Their own power became a weapon against them, amplified and chaotic in ways their rigid, hierarchical minds couldn't comprehend. "Remarkable," Maya breathed, watching the data streams. "Their consciousness technology is actually more advanced than ours, but they've limited themselves by only using it in strictly controlled ways. They never imagined it could be used like this." Admiral Wong watched as the massive alien fleet began to break apart, their ships moving erratically as their crews struggled to maintain control. They built their empire on the assumption that consciousness could be dominated and directed. "We built our defenses on the knowledge that the mind works best when it's free to explore all possibilities." Multiple Concordat vessels powering down, Rivera announced. They're surrendering." On the main screen, Ambassador Zentel's image stabilized, but his galaxy eyes were wide with something approaching awe. How can you maintain coherence in such chaos?" "Because we don't try to maintain coherence," Chen replied. "We embrace the chaos. Every human mind is unique, unpredictable, creative. Together, we don't form a rigid pattern. We form an ever-changing quantum dance of consciousness that can't be controlled or predicted." The ambassador's expression shifted to one of genuine curiosity. "In all our millennia of expansion, we've never encountered a species that could resist our neural technology, let alone turn it against us. Perhaps we have something to learn from humanity." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "That's the first honest thing you've said since arriving in our solar system. Stand down your fleet, Ambassador. Then we can discuss a real diplomatic exchange, one based on mutual understanding rather than dominance." As the Concordat fleet began powering down their weapons, Maya turned to Chen. "Director, the quantum readings from their ships. I think we've only scratched the surface of what consciousness technology can do. If we could study their systems, combine their precision with our creativity." "One thing at a time, Doctor," Chen replied, watching the tactical display as the red dots of enemy ships turned green one by one. "First, we need to make sure they understand that humanity won't be conquered or controlled. After that, well, the universe just got a lot more interesting." The Concordat had come expecting to find a primitive species ready for subjugation. Instead, they discovered that humanity's greatest weapon was the very thing that made us human: our chaotic, creative, unpredictable minds. And now, as their mighty fleet hung powerless in space, they were about to learn that humanity had only begun to explore the true potential of consciousness. The Empire's gambit. The relative calm following humanity's initial victory lasted exactly 6 hours. Director Chen was reviewing preliminary diplomatic protocols when the quantum sensors screamed to life. "Multiple hyperspace ruptures." Lieutenant Rivera's voice cut through the command center. "Signatures they're massive. larger than anything we've seen yet. Through the orbital observation feeds, they watched as space itself tore open. What emerged made the first Concordat fleet look like a scouting party. These weren't just warships. They were mobile worlds, artificial planetoids bristling with technology beyond even the Concordat's apparent capabilities. "Message incoming," Rivera announced. Not from Ambassador Gentle this time. The figure that appeared on the main screen bore little resemblance to the ambassador. Its form shifted between states of matter, sometimes solid, sometimes pure energy. When it spoke, the translation came through as if the words were being carved directly into their minds. "I am High Archon Vokrill of the Inner Concordat. You have impressed us, humans. Few species have ever resisted our outer fleets. None have turned our own consciousness technology against us. But now you face the true power of the Concordat." Maya's quantum readings were off the scale. "Director, these ships, they're not just using consciousness technology. They're somehow manipulating the fundamental fabric of reality itself." The High Archon's form rippled with what might have been amusement. "Your scientist is perceptive. We have mastered the link between consciousness and reality. Watch." One of the planetoid ships pulsed with energy. Suddenly, Mars' smaller moon Deimos simply vanished. Not destroyed, erased as if it had never existed. "Reality itself bends to our will," the Archon declared. "Surrender now, and we will teach you these arts. Resist, and we will unmake your world." Chen turned to Maya. "Can they really?" "Yes," Maya replied, her voice tight. "They're using consciousness to directly manipulate quantum probability fields. They're not just changing reality. They're selecting which reality exists." Admiral Wong's face was grim. "Options. 1. Maya's fingers flew across her console. "They're not the only ones who understand the relationship between consciousness and reality. The Prometheus network, we never told anyone its full capabilities." Chen's eyes widened. The quantum consciousness experiments. They weren't just about defense, were they? "No," Maya admitted. "We discovered something extraordinary. Human consciousness doesn't just interact with reality. It creates consensus reality. Billions of minds unconsciously agreeing on what is and isn't possible. We've been unmaking impossible things since before we understood fire." The Archon's image shifted impatiently. "Your decision, humans. Join us or cease to exist." Chen straightened. "Dr. Patel, initiate the Infinity Protocol." Across Earth, the Prometheus network hummed to life again. But this time, it wasn't just connecting minds or creating chaos. It was tapping into humanity's collective ability to define reality itself. "You believe you can unmake our world." Chen addressed the Archon. "We are 8 billion minds who have spent thousands of years collectively believing in, shaping, and defending this reality. Let's see whose version of existence is stronger." The Inner Concordat ships began their reality-warping assault. Space twisted. Probability fields collapsed. But as each distortion approached Earth, it encountered something unprecedented. The combined will of billions of human minds, each one unconsciously insisting on the integrity of their reality. "Impossible." The Archon's form flickered violently. "No species has ever." "That's the problem with the Concordat," Maya interjected. "You see consciousness as a tool for control. We understand it's the foundation of existence itself. Every human child who's ever wished upon a star has helped shape our reality. Every dreamer, every scientist, every person who's ever insisted this is real has reinforced it. The battle that followed defied conventional description. The Inner Concordat wielded reality like a weapon, trying to erase or alter everything in their path. But around Earth, probability itself seemed to crystallize, hardened by billions of minds unconsciously agreeing on what could and couldn't happen. "Their reality warping fields are destabilizing," Maya reported. "The combined weight of human consensus is too strong. We're not just believing in our reality, we're making it impossible for them to unmake it." The massive planetoid ships began to shudder as their reality-altering weapons encountered something they couldn't overcome: the stubborn collective insistence of humanity that things are the way they are. "Stand down," Chen commanded, "or we'll show you what happens when humanity decides to change reality instead of just defending it." The Archon's form had become almost transparent, its power over reality weakening in the face of humanity's collective will. How can primitives like you possess such power over the fundamental nature of existence?" Admiral Wong smiled. "Because we never knew we couldn't. Every human who's ever dreamed of a better world, every child who's imagined the impossible, every scientist who's pushed the boundaries of what's possible, they've all been unconsciously shaping reality itself. We don't need your technology to change the universe. We've been doing it naturally since we first looked up at the stars and decided to reach them." The inner Concordat fleet hung motionless in space, their reality-warping weapons rendered useless by the simple, overwhelming power of human consensus reality. They had come expecting to unmake a world, only to discover that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our technology, or even our consciousness. It was our collective ability to define what is and isn't possible. And now, as their mightiest weapons failed against the simple power of human belief, the inner Concordat was about to learn that they hadn't just found a species that could resist them. They'd found one that could rewrite the rules of existence itself. Victory and recognition. In the aftermath of the inner Concordat's failed reality-warping assault, Earth's orbital space had become a graveyard of disabled alien ships. Their mighty planetoids, once capable of erasing moons from existence, now drifted powerless, their crews struggling to comprehend how their absolute mastery over reality had been negated by what they had dismissed as a primitive species. Director Chen stood before the United Earth Council, the holographic representatives of every major nation floating around her like a constellation of human leadership. Above them, a real-time display showed the Concordat ships being systematically secured by Earth's defense forces. "High Archon Vakrill has formally requested negotiation terms," she announced. "Not as conquerors, but as equals, possibly even as supplicants." The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Ambassador Gentle, now serving as a liaison between humanity and the Concordat, stepped forward. His galaxy eyes had lost their arrogance, replaced by something approaching reverence. "You must understand," he began, "the Concordat has ruled the galaxy for over 50,000 years. We thought we had mastered consciousness itself, bent reality to our will. But what you showed us..." He paused, searching for words. "You humans don't just interact with reality. You're part of its fundamental architecture." Dr. Maya Patel, recently promoted to Chief of Sinological Sciences, activated a holographic display showing the quantum consciousness readings from the battle. The Concordat's mistake was thinking consciousness was a tool to be used. They never understood it's the foundation of existence itself. Every human mind contributes to the collective field that defines our consensus reality. "And now," asked the council president, "what does the mighty Concordat want from us primitives?" The answer came from High Archon Vakrill himself, his shifting form appearing in the chamber with considerably less grandeur than before. "We seek understanding. In all our millennia of expansion, we never encountered a species that could not only resist our power, but demonstrate mastery over reality itself without technology. We offer in exchange our knowledge for yours." Admiral Wong, standing beside Chen, couldn't suppress a slight smile. Ironic. They came to conquer us, and instead became our students. But Chen saw something deeper in the Archon's proposal. This isn't just about technology or consciousness. This is about fundamentally changing how species interact across the galaxy. She turned to address both the Council and the Concordat representatives. For too long, the galaxy has operated on principles of dominance and control. The Concordat's mistake wasn't just underestimating humanity. It was believing that power comes from imposing order on chaos. We've shown there's another way. Maya stepped forward, her eyes bright with possibility. "Our preliminary studies of their ships show that by combining their precise consciousness technology With humanity's natural ability to shape reality, we could unlock capabilities neither of us imagined possible, not for conquest, but for exploration and understanding. The Archon's form rippled with what might have been excitement. Already, our scholars are reconsidering everything we thought we knew about consciousness and reality. Your species' natural ability to collectively shape probability fields without technology. It changes everything. Not just probability fields, Maya corrected. Dreams, hopes, possibilities. Every human who's ever imagined a better future has contributed to shaping reality itself. That's what the Concordat never understood. Consciousness isn't about control, it's about creation. Chen watched as council members nodded in agreement. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had fundamentally changed the galaxy's power structure. The Concordat, once would-be conquerors, now sought to learn from us. We accept your proposal for exchange, Chen announced. But with conditions. The Concordat will abandon its policy of conquest. All species must be free to develop their own relationship with consciousness and reality. And Earth will oversee the establishment of a new galactic council, one based on cooperation rather than domination. The Archon's form stabilized into something more solid, more present. Agreed. The age of conquest is over. The age of understanding begins. As the formal negotiations proceeded, Chen found herself looking out at the stars through the council chamber's transparent dome. Humanity had not only survived its first contact with a galactic civilization, we had fundamentally changed it. Our chaotic, creative, unpredictable nature, once seen as a weakness, had proven to be our greatest strength. You know what this means, Maya said quietly, joining her at the window. We're not just joining the galactic community, we're reshaping it. Every human dream, every imagination, every possibility we collectively believe in. We're not just defending our reality anymore, we're helping create a new one. Chen smiled. And that's humanity's real victory. We didn't just prove we could resist control, we showed there's a better way. A way that honors both individual consciousness and collective potential. As Earth's ships guided the now peaceful Concordat vessels into stable orbits, Chen couldn't help but feel optimistic about the future. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformative. We had shown the galaxy that true power doesn't come from controlling reality. It comes from understanding our role in creating it. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if reflecting the expanded possibilities now open to humanity. We had defended our world not through superior firepower or technology, but through the simple, overwhelming power of human consciousness itself. And in doing so, we had changed not just our future, but the future of every species in the galaxy. The age of conquest was indeed over. The age of understanding had begun. And humanity, with our chaotic, creative, reality-shaping minds, would help lead the way into this new era of galactic cooperation and discovery.